Well, at long last, I'm finally going to get around to giving you a tour of the new studio at Bob Olson Voiceovers. This is just the basement, family room, sports lounge, aka client lounge if you're coming over here to do some production in the new studios. If you remember, the white door is where the old studio was. That door is where the new one is. And when I was designing and thinking about things I wanted for the new studio, I came up with a punch list of things, one of which is that recording sign. It's very simple, but every time I turn on the light in my vocal booth, that light will go on to let my wife know, let the niece know that I'm on the mic and to be a little more quiet than normal, I guess. And this is the new studios for Bob Olson Voiceovers. Hallway leads down to a control room. And I've got two vocal booths. That's the big difference. There's one there we'll meet in a second, and here's the first one we will meet. This is my main booth with the dark red on the walls. The walls, boy, as soon as you close that door, the sound is just so much different. I was overwhelmed by the fact that it is so quiet, so dead, but sounds so terrific in here now. One of the things and one of the reasons behind the deadness of the room is the Guilford fabric. You can see how my hand just gives a little bit there. There's some insulation under there. It's on the ceiling, there's soffits on the wall, and on the back there are some acoustic treatments, diffusers and bass traps that were designed by a guy named Doug Brown for Solar 2 LLC. Now, Solar 2 is run by a guy named Ken Captain. Ken, I got his name from a local studio here in town, Harvest, and they had their entire building redone by Ken. Ken also did, and I'll name drop here, Eminem and Kid Rock. So he comes with a pretty good resume on there. But a couple other things that I had on my punch list, one of which was that monitor that's hanging on the wall. All that does is mirrors the control room monitor, so when I'm recording for a phone patch session, I can stay in here, use the wireless stuff for the Mac, play back anything that I've recorded, record without having to run back and forth. It really makes things convenient, easy, quick, and it's just a terrific thing to have, and I'm really happy I've got that. It's come in very handy. Also, the iPad mount. I've got the regular music stand, and a window on the door just because I get a little claustrophobic. So that's my booth. We can move to vocal booth number 2, which is a little brighter since the room is a little smaller, but still the same Guilford fabric on the walls and same blue Kiwi microphone. I didn't even notice until now. Look at that. The nice green goes together very well. So that's the second booth if I've got 2 vocal talents in here, 2 voice talents, or if I'm doing some stuff for production purposes as well. Inside the control room is where the Mac is set up, the Mackie board, Focal active monitors now, which is really nice. They're powered and they sound terrific, and on a custom desk too that Ken put together for me. So all my gear is right in here. I've got pretty much the same gear I had before. The 2 lower things there are Universal Audio LA610 mic preamps, headphone preamps, power strips, and on this side the ISDN lines, and just your basic mini disc player of all things, and a CD player from other things that I've got as well. But the fabric is again on the walls along with the bass traps up here. So when you're sitting in this area, it really does eat up the sound and sound terrific. So this is the control room. And another thing, another punch list item that I had, and it's very simple, is that. When I'm in here, I hear nothing, and that's just a strobe light. So when the doorbell rings upstairs for deliveries and whatnot, that strobe just goes off 3 times, lets me know what's going on upstairs. So that's kind of nice. That, pretty much for all intents and purposes, is the new studios for Bob Olson Voiceovers. It's really opened up my possibilities. I had a lot more clients in here now, producing a lot more commercials, having other clients roll in, and other voice talent, doing ISDN stuff too. It's really a limitless possibilities that are now available for Bob Olson Voiceovers. Thanks for sticking with me, and hope you like the tour.